Welcome to Spicy Lady. True leadership isn't about the title you hold. It's about the impact you make without needing to prove it. Spicy Lady Sigmas are natural-born leaders. But here's the twist. They often hate being in charge. This might sound confusing at first. How can someone so powerful and capable resist the very thing the world associates with leadership? The answer lies deep within their nature. Spicy Lady Sigmas lead differently. They don't chase authority or crave control. Their strength comes from quiet confidence, independence, and an unwillingness to sacrifice their freedom for a label or position. If you're a Spicy Lady Sigma, know this. Your resistance to traditional leadership isn't a weakness. It's proof of your authenticity. You don't need a crown or a corner office to influence, inspire, or change the game. You lead by example, by thought, by presence, not by shouting orders or fitting into old-fashioned roles that drain your energy. You might feel misunderstood or overlooked because you don't play by the usual rules. And that's exactly why you're rare and valuable. Your path is your own, and the world desperately needs leaders like you. Those who lead without forcing, who empower without controlling, and who stay true no matter what. Hold on to your unique way of leading. It's not about rejecting power. It's about redefining it. And when you do that, you become unstoppable. Let's get started, Spicy Lady. Number 1, she'd rather be the catalyst than the queen. A Spicy Lady Sigma isn't interested in sitting on a throne or wearing a crown. The idea of ruling over others, of holding power just for power's sake, feels stale and hollow to her. What truly excites her is starting the fire. The spark that shakes things up and sets change in motion. She's the force that cracks the foundation, challenges the status quo, and turns complacency into momentum. Her genius is in disruption, not domination. She knows that real growth doesn't come from controlling the aftermath, but from igniting the bold ideas and movements that reshape everything. Unlike traditional leaders who crave the spotlight and the perks of control, she prefers to stay in the background once the revolution begins. She doesn't want to govern the ruins or micromanage the rebuild. Her role is the spark, the catalyst, the one who gets things moving and then steps away, letting others handle what comes next. This mindset makes her unpredictable and powerful. She's not tied down by the weight of responsibility that comes with long-term rule. Instead, she thrives on the thrill of change, the chaos of new beginnings, and the freedom to move on to the next big idea or battle. For the Spicy Lady Sigma, leadership isn't about climbing ladders or hoarding influence. It's about breaking ladders and forcing others to build new ones. She's here to disturb the comfortable and inspire others to wake up, not to hand out orders or demand loyalty. If you're a Spicy Lady Sigma, know this. Your strength lies in your ability to ignite the future, not in controlling it. Be proud of the fires you start. Don't feel pressured to wear the crown. Your power comes from being the spark no one saw coming, and that's far more valuable than any throne. Number 2, she's a visionary, not a manager. There's a huge difference between managing and leading. And the Spicy Lady Sigma lives on the visionary side of that line, that she's not here to babysit broken systems or chase after people who can't pull their own weight. She's wired for what's next, for bold ideas, fresh thinking, and creating what doesn't exist yet. But stick her in a traditional leadership role, and suddenly that fire starts to die out. Why? Because most leadership roles aren't built for visionaries. They're built for managers, endless schedules, repetitive meetings, constant check-ins, making sure everyone's happy even if nothing meaningful is happening. A Spicy Lady Sigma, that kind of work is mental quicksand. It suffocates her creativity and wastes her time. She doesn't want to maintain what already exists. She wants to break it apart and build something better. That she's the one who questions the why behind every rule. The one who sees 10 steps ahead while everyone else is still stuck in step 1. She's not interested in keeping systems alive just because they've always worked. If it's outdated, she'll challenge it. If it's inefficient, she'll redesign it. And if it's meaningless, she'll walk away without hesitation. Managing egos is never her thing. She's too forward-thinking to pause for emotional handholding or office politics. She wants minds that move like hers, fast, curious, and unafraid of growth. If people need constant validation or can't handle direct feedback, they won't last long in her orbit. What drives her isn't authority, it's impact. It's the freedom to create without being buried in red tape or small talk. It's building something real, something new, something bold. And the moment leadership turns into maintenance, she's already halfway out the door. That if you're a spicy Lady Sigma, stop doubting your power just because you hate the manager side of leadership. You weren't built to oversee. You were built to ignite. Let others keep the systems running. You're here to reinvent the whole damn thing. Number 3, she's deeply autonomous. Here's what people often get wrong about leadership. They think being in charge means having all the power. But for a spicy Lady Sigma, that's not true. To her, real power is freedom. That if being in charge means constantly compromising who she is just to keep the peace, please others, or stay politically correct, then she'll pass. Spicy Lady Sigmas are wired for autonomy. They don't want to be controlled, and they sure don't want to control others. Their independence isn't just about doing things alone. It's about thinking for themselves, setting their own pace, and living by their own rules. The moment someone tries to put limits on her, whether it's a boss, a group, or a system, she starts to pull away. She needs space to breathe, to think clearly, and to work without someone always hovering over her shoulder. That's why being in charge feels more like a trap than a privilege. Most leadership positions force you to perform a role. Smile when you don't feel like it. Sugarcoat the truth. Hold back your opinions to avoid ruffling feathers. A spicy Lady Sigma. That's not leadership. That's acting. And she didn't come here to perform. She'd rather walk away from a leadership role than lose her voice, her values, or her peace of mind. That doesn't make her weak. It makes her unshakably strong. Most people cling to titles for status. She lets them go to protect her soul. Her independence is exactly why people respect her in the first place. She's not chasing approval. She's not playing the game. She's focused on what matters and never asks for permission to do things her way. That kind of self-possession is rare and powerful. If you're a spicy Lady Sigma, never forget this. Your independence isn't something to tone down. It's your edge. Keep protecting it, even if it means walking away from roles that look good on paper, but don't feel right in your spirit. Number 4, she's built to lead minds, not manage people. Let's be honest. Most leadership roles today are less about leading and more about managing nonsense. Constant check-ins, putting out emotional fires, smoothing over petty conflicts, dealing with fragile egos. It's exhausting. The spicy Lady Sigma is not built for any of that. She's not here to babysit grown adults who refuse to think for themselves. What she is built for is far more powerful. Leading minds. She's the kind of woman who drops one sentence that stays with you for years. She challenges the way you think, shifts the way you move, and makes you want to be sharper, better, and more awake. That's her lane. Deep thought, vision, and long-term impact. She doesn't motivate people by empty cheering. She motivates by making them think. This is exactly why she struggles in traditional roles that expect her to constantly hold people's hands or clean up after those who refuse to take responsibility. It drains her deeply. She expects people to be self-aware, self-led, and ready to evolve. When they're not, she quietly checks out, not out of arrogance, but because she knows her energy is too valuable to waste on people who won't meet her halfway. Her mind runs miles ahead of everyone else, connecting dots others can't even see. She's a visionary, not a manager. She leads best when she's creating ideas, shaping strategy, and planting seeds for real change. Not when she's stuck repeating herself in endless meetings. She's not cold. She's focused. She doesn't hate people, but she's highly selective with where she invests her energy. If you're a spicy Lady Sigma, this is your truth. You were never meant to carry dead weight. You were meant to spark minds, not manage moods. Protect that. Own it. Don't let anyone guilt you into playing small because they don't understand your unique leadership style. Number 5, she's more dangerous without a title. Most people get this completely wrong. They think the spicy Lady Sigma needs a title to be powerful. That without a fancy role, authority, or recognition, she loses her edge. But the truth is, she becomes even more dangerous without one. Titles come with rules, expectations, and endless red tape. When you hold an official position, you're forced to play nice, manage public optics, and tiptoe around fragile egos. Strip all that away and give the spicy Lady Sigma her freedom, and you get someone who answers to no one, second guesses nothing, and moves exactly how she wants. That's when she becomes truly lethal. Without a title, she's not bound by anyone's approval. She's not stuck in pointless meetings. She's not wasting time explaining herself to people who can't understand her vision. She observes deeply, thinks clearly, and moves under the radar. This is when her sharpest ideas, boldest decisions, and fearless actions come to life. That a spicy Lady Sigma without a title is not powerless. She's untouchable. No system, no politics, no public expectations can limit her. Her mind sharpens, her instincts strengthen, and her actions speed up. Because no one sees her coming, she's impossible to predict and even harder to stop. She doesn't need the spotlight to wield influence. She doesn't need permission to make an impact. She doesn't need validation to know her worth. Her presence alone can shift an entire room, whether she holds an official position or walks in unnoticed. If you're a spicy Lady Sigma, remember this. You are not your title. You never were. Your power lies in your clarity, your independence, and your refusal to be boxed in. The less people think you matter, the more powerful you become. When no one's watching, you move the smartest and strike the hardest. Number 6, structure feels like a cage for the spicy Lady Sigma. Structure isn't comforting, it's confining. While many people crave strict rules, fixed schedules, and clear chains of command, she sees it all as a trap. The more rigid the system, the more she suffocates. It's not that she can't follow structure. She absolutely can, and usually better than most. But when structure begins to limit her creativity, freedom, and intuition, she starts to lose herself. Traditional leadership roles come with a strict blueprint. Do this, don't do that, speak only a certain way. Avoid conflict at all costs, keep everyone comfortable. This checklist is designed to maintain peace, not spark change, and that's the core problem. Spicy Lady Sigmas aren't here to preserve the status quo. They're built to question, reinvent, and break what no longer works. Forcing them into outdated systems is like locking a lion in a cage. Strong, sharp, and completely trapped. That she's not rebellious just to rebel. She doesn't seek conflict or drama. But she will never pretend broken systems make sense, and she'll never play along with meaningless rules. This unapologetic honesty makes her unpopular in leadership circles that prioritize image over integrity. But she doesn't care. She'd rather be real and free than celebrated and silent. That's why most spicy Lady Sigmas either walk away from traditional leadership roles or outgrow them instantly. Creatively, mentally, emotionally, they feel boxed in. And once that happens, they start planning their exit. It's not running from responsibility. It's protecting her power. If you're a spicy Lady Sigma, here's your reminder. You weren't born to fit into systems. You were born to challenge them. Don't dull your edge just to keep others comfortable. Structure works for other people, but for you, freedom is fuel. Own that, move differently, and never apologize for needing room to breathe and create. Number 7, politics is a language she refuses to speak. The spicy Lady Sigma does not play fake games, especially the shallow, manipulative politics that come with high leadership roles. The higher you climb in traditional leadership, the more masks you're forced to wear. Smile insincerely, praise unearned effort, laugh at bad ideas, and compromise your truth just to keep the peace. But the spicy Lady Sigma doesn't do fake. She's not rude. She's just unapologetically real. Honest to the core, sharp enough to see through all nonsense, and too self-respecting to flatter her way into approval. This makes her incredibly powerful and incredibly threatening to insecure, manipulative people. Her silence alone feels confrontational because it's empty of fake warmth and empty praise. In a world obsessed with political games, genuine truth makes people uncomfortable. Standard leadership demands managing up, saying the right things to the right people to stay favored. The spicy Lady Sigma finds this exhausting and humiliating. She knows her worth and will never shrink herself to make insecure people feel important. If she can't be honest in a room, she won't stay long. This is why so many spicy Lady Sigmas avoid traditional leadership entirely or carve out their own rule-free paths. They lead best when they're free to speak the truth. Even when it's uncomfortable, she doesn't want to charm her way to the top. She wants to earn her place through substance, not manipulation tactics. That if you're a spicy Lady Sigma, hold fast to this truth. You don't need to speak politics when you speak power, clarity, courage, and truth. Keep your honesty sharp, your standards high, and your mask off. You're not here to fit in. You're here to cut through all the noise. Number 8. She doesn't want followers. She wants free thinkers. The spicy Lady Sigma has zero interest in building a blind entourage. She doesn't crave applause, admiration, or a crowd of people who nod along to every word she says. In fact, if all you do is agree with her, she'll quietly step away. She doesn't want followers. She wants independent minds. To her, real leadership is never about control. It's about awakening people, breaking them out of mental laziness, and helping them see beyond the blind rules they've always accepted. She's not here to be anyone's hero. She's here to light fires. If you leave her presence more aware, more challenged, and more in control of your own mind, that's her greatest win. But if you only wait for instructions, depend on her for every answer, or chase her constant approval, she'll lose interest instantly. She's allergic to dependency. She doesn't want people orbiting her. She wants people growing beside her. The idea of leading a group of yes men and yes women is her worst nightmare. It's lazy, empty leadership. What she respects is someone who questions her, who brings new perspectives, who stands firm in their own truth, even when it differs from hers. That's when she sees true potential. Not blind followers, but evolving minds. A great leader doesn't gather sheep. They build other lions. If you're a spicy Lady Sigma, remember this. Your power lies in how you free people, not how many people follow you. You don't create copies. You wake up originals. Number 9. Burnout comes from leading the wrong people. Spicy Lady Sigmas don't burn out because they're weak. They burn out because they're constantly surrounded by the wrong energy. The world glorifies leadership as endlessly empowering, but for a spicy Lady Sigma, leading unmotivated, stagnant people is not power. It's punishment. She thrives on depth, deep minds, deep conversations, deep purpose. Place her in a role full of surface-level drama, ego-stroking, and growth-resistant people, and her energy drains instantly. She ends up wasting days calming tempers, repeating herself, and dragging people out of their own excuses instead of making real progress. What most people miss is that she doesn't crave control. She craves alignment. She wants driven, integrity-focused, self-respecting people who push themselves independently and value honesty over comfort. That's the team that fuels her. Everything else drains her dry. People mislabel her as uncooperative or intense. The truth is she has zero tolerance for dead weight. She will never waste her brilliance hand-holding grown adults who refuse to grow up, and she'll never sacrifice her peace just to call herself a boss. If you're a spicy Lady Sigma, here's your truth. You weren't made to lead everyone. You were made to lead the right people, the ones who challenge you, uplift you, and grow with you. Never feel guilty for walking away from draining spaces. That's not weakness. That's self-preservation. You've earned the right to protect your fire. Number 10, her loyalty is to truth, not popularity. In a world where most leaders polish their image, filter their words, and play safe just to stay liked, the spicy Lady Sigma is a walking contradiction. She doesn't lead for approval. She doesn't soften the truth to keep the peace. Her loyalty belongs only to truth, not popularity. This makes her incredibly rare and uniquely powerful. Traditional leadership demands diplomacy, sugarcoating, and avoiding conflict at all costs. But the spicy Lady Sigma refuses to fake perfection. She calls out broken systems, hypocrisy, and lazy thinking, even when it's unpopular, even when it costs her favor. Her words may sting temporarily, but they're always real. Deep down, even her critics know she's usually right. She exposes what others hide, disrupts comfortable lies, and forces people to confront what they've been avoiding. She doesn't chase applause. She chases clarity. She doesn't need everyone to agree with her. She just needs to stay honest to herself and others. If you're a spicy Lady Sigma, remember this. Your truth is your greatest strength. You weren't born to keep people comfortable. You were born to wake them up. Let others chase likes and empty titles. You're here to cut through the noise. People may reject your truth now, but they'll remember it forever. Real leadership isn't about being liked. It's about being right when it matters most. Number 11, her morals can't be bought when it comes to her values. The spicy Lady Sigma never negotiates. Money, status, promotions, and perks mean absolutely nothing if she has to sacrifice her integrity to obtain them. She doesn't chase titles for clout or benefits. If an opportunity requires her to mute her principles, fake her personality, or compromise her truth, she'll walk away without hesitation. This isn't pride or stubbornness. It's an unbreakable moral code. Her sense of self is non-negotiable. Selling out, bending the truth, or molding herself to fit others' standards feels like slow poison to her soul. She knows temporary power and status are never worth losing self-respect. While most leaders compromise their values to hold onto power, she chooses being overlooked over being corrupted. She'd be underestimated, undervalued, or even written off before she betrays her own truth, that she's seen how easily power corrupts, and she fiercely guards her inner light. If you're a spicy Lady Sigma, remember this. Your integrity is your most valuable currency. Never bargain away your truth for temporary gains. The right opportunities will honor your values, not demand you bury them. Stay true, stay sharp, and understand that real power isn't bought. It's earned through unwavering honesty and courage, a wealth no one can ever take from you. Final thoughts at the core. The spicy Lady Sigma was born to lead, just not the way the world expects. She leads quietly with unshakable strength that needs no title, no spotlight, and no validation. Her leadership is never about control or managing others. It's about staying unapologetically true to herself, inspiring independent thought, and reshaping broken systems without getting trapped by them. This is exactly why she hates traditional leadership roles. The world's version of leadership is a cage. Her unique power is freedom-driven, vision-focused, and soul-aligned, that if you're a spicy Lady Sigma, never see your hatred for standard leadership as a flaw. It's your greatest strength. You don't follow scripts or fit into man-made molds. You write your own story, lead by authentic example, and spark lasting change without losing yourself, that it's okay to reject the empty titles everyone else craves. Your quiet, intentional leadership is deeper, purer, and far more powerful than any flashy position. Your influence moves beneath the surface, shifting minds and transforming lives in ways conventional power never can. Hold your ground. Led with your mind, your heart, and your unbreakable integrity. You weren't born to follow the crowd or wear a crown you never wanted. You were born to lead on your own terms, and that makes you absolutely unstoppable. Thank you for watching, Spicy Lady, and God bless.